Hello guys, welcome to our channel Funch. We are a new channel on YouTube and we will be creating tutorial videos related to UI design and user experience. And in our first video we are going to be creating this crypto mobile app in Figma. So without further ado, let's get to it. So let's get started with this project. First, what you want to do is just open up a new Figma file. And in the description below, we will provide the resources for this project. So I'm just going to paste them right here. This will be in the description, so make sure to grab them. We will use these in the mobile app design that we're going to do. We have a logo here. We have some iOS native elements. We have the status bar. We have the bottom bar, bottom navigation bar. We have textiles for headings and for paragraphs. We have some colors here. And we got some icons and some cryptocurrency logos that we're going to use across the mobile app design. So let's get to it. First, what you want to do is click F and frame tab will pop up in the right. And what you want to do is just select this iPhone 13 Pro Max. We'll be working on this frame. There we go. We're going to need 3 copies of this. So hold Alt Shift and drag to copy it easily. There we go. We're just going to put these 2 at the side so we can focus up on the splash screen. So we're going to be creating this splash screen. It's pretty easy to do this. Just select your splash screen and go to the color picker. Select the color picker. And you're going to select this background splash color. It's a nice dark blue color. It's very night modish and it's very attractive. And we're going to be using this logo here that we have provided in the resources. So make sure to copy it. Just hold Ctrl C to copy it. Go down to your frame, just select it and paste it by holding Ctrl V. There we go. And make sure to center it vertically and horizontally. There we go. And that's finished. By the way, you can move around like this by clicking H and just move around basically. And you can zoom out by holding Control and your mouse scroll to easily navigate throughout your designs. That's it for the splash screen, pretty easy. And now we're going to be creating the login screen. So select your frame. We can name these. For a start, we can say splash screen. And we can name this frame login. There we go. Let's put them above. We have all the resources frames here, right here. So just select your login frame. Go to the color picker. You can zoom out and you can go to the colors and you can select the background splash. I think it will look good as well. There we go. We have that. Now what we want to do, we want to insert the status bar. So make sure to select this one. Hold Alt Shift. You can make a copy. You can ungroup it as a starter. So we're not gonna be doing this one, so you can delete that. So copy this and we can paste it right here. There we go. Align it at the top, make sure it's the top. What you want to do now, you can delete this. There we go. And you can just resize it and make sure to put it all the way through. There we go. Now it's black. So what you want to do is just select the color here and the selection colors while selecting the component and just make it white. And there we go. Pretty easy. Now what we want to do is we want to insert just the logo without the text. Just copy it. Go back to your frame, select your frame and just paste it. We can put it a little bit up to give some space for the rest of the content. And now we want a title. For the title, we're going to use this title 1 regular, so it's a 28 pixels Lato font family. So let's go down, click T for selecting text, and just click on your frame, and let's just write up the title: the most trusted and secure wallet now yours. There we go. Make sure to align it horizontally, and make sure to align it center, to align the text center. There we go. Let's move this a little bit up. Let's move this up as well. Now we are going to be needing 2 buttons for this purpose, and we're going to be needing icons. So let's first create the buttons. So what you want to do, let's choose font size for this. So I think title 3 should work. It's 20 pixels Lato. I think that's sufficient enough for a button on mobile. So you want to click T, just click on the frame. If it's not 20 pixels, make sure to set it, and to set the line height to auto. If it's not auto, just type auto. It's gonna set it to the default line height. So let's type up here, connect a wallet. There we go. Now what we want to do is want to grab an icon here, this wallet icon. You can grab this as well. We're going to be using both of them. Just copy them, select your frame, and just paste them. There we go. They're right here. They just have a dark blue color so you can't see them, and just make them white. There we go. You want to position your icon for connect wallet right close to the text, so select both and align them vertically. They were already aligned, so that's good. Let's give them a nice spacing, so maybe 12 pixels. Let's give it 8. Should look good. Yep, that's good. So you can select them and hold Control G. That's gonna group them. Now they are in a group. So what you want to do now, you can hold F and create a frame around them. There we go. So now they are in a frame. And what you want to do is you want to set auto layout. So how you set auto layout, you can click on the plus here, or you can hold Shift A, and that will add auto layout to the components. So what we want to do now before continuing to design this button is to set the colors straight. So we want to have a fill here of this green color. This is a very nice green. Or we can set it up for the darker shade. Maybe it's gonna look better. Yeah, definitely the darker one. There we go. So what we want to do now is we want to set the vertical padding to 8 pixels. So that's a little bit let's try 12. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty clickable. So in this situation, what you want to do, you can just remove the auto layout, and we're going to be adding a layout grid. So you can click on the frame, just click layout grid, and instead of grid, you can go columns, and you can set 3, and you can set a margin of 24 pixels and a gutter of 16 pixels. There we go. So what you want to do now is position your button on the end of the left side of the grid, and you want to expand this button all the way to the right side of the grid. There we go. You're going to select the grouped component inside your framed button and just align it to the center. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. And now what you want to do, you want to add corner radius right here, so 4 pixels. Let's disable the grid. You can disable the grid by holding Control-Shift-4, or you can disable it straight into the frame. So you can select the frame and you can click the visibility eye, so it's gonna disable it. Okay, so about the button, I think we can make this a little bit bigger. So you can see here the height, it's 48 pixels. Let's try 52. Yeah, this should work. And select your group and make sure to align it center. There we go. I think that looks pretty good to me. And now we're missing this this navigation component, so we're going to copy it. So make sure to go to the iOS native elements frame and just hold Control and select this and copy it. Go back to your login frame, select it and just paste it, and here we go. We have it. Make sure to change the color to white, align it to center, and you're going to give it a 8 pixel bottom spacing. So how you move it, you can just select it, center it, and you can hold Alt and Shift to increment it. You can use the arrows on your keyboard to go up, down, left, or right. So hold Alt to see the spacing and hold Shift and the arrow keys to navigate. There we go. And what we are going to do now, we're going to have another button. And this button will have no background color. And what it will have is this icon here instead of this wallet icon. So what you want to do now is select this icon. It's an import icon, so just copy it, make sure to copy it, and you want to select this wallet icon, right click and paste to replace. There we go. And we're going to write here import wallet. There we go. And what we want to do now is give it a, okay, it's good, it's white color. So what we want to do here is just remove the fill, and there we go, it's removed. We want to give it a 12 pixel spacing to the top button, and now select both of your buttons and group them by holding Ctrl G. And now we're going to hold Alt and Shift, and we're going to be, and our cursor is going to be on this navigation component, and just scroll it down a bit to 40 pixels. I think that looks good. There we go. Now you're going to select the text, and by holding Alt and Shift and using your arrow keys, as we said, you're going to position this at 48 pixels maybe. Let's give it 40. There we go. I think that looks pretty good to me. Just delete this one, we don't need it. And we're going to position this at the center. It is at the center. We're going to give it spacing of 160 pixels away from the other components, and there we go. We have the login page ready, and we need to do one more thing. We're going to select this component right here, the text and the button, and you can see that this is their color. And what we're going to do is to give it this dark blue color. There we go. I think that looks pretty good to me. Now what we're going to do is we're going to design the app design. So it's going to be its main page. What we're not going to do is we can delete this frame. We can just copy this frame, so we're not duplicating our work unnecessarily. So we're going to delete these items right here. And the first thing that we want to do is insert the logo. So go to your logo frame, just copy it, go back to your frame, just paste it. And now we're going to be needing a grid. So remember the grid we created, we still have it. So just toggle it, and there we go. Make sure to position your logo on the grid. It's going to be having a 24 pixel spacing from the left, and you want to position it like somewhere around 48 pixels from the status bar. I think that's sufficient enough. Now what we want to do is create our profile avatar. So you're gonna click O, hold shift to create a perfect circle. Let's go with 40 pixels. And there we go. I think that looks good to me. Let's align it properly. There we go. And what we're going to use now is a plugin in Figma. You're gonna right click on the circle, go to plugins, and we're going to be using content reel. If you don't have the plugin, you can just easily go to plugins, find more plugins, and just type content reel. It's gonna pop up, just click on it, run. We're gonna go to images and we're going to select avatar for this purpose. So let's see, just something, doesn't matter. Let's go with this one, this person. And what we want to do is we're going to select this circle and we're going to give it a stroke and make sure to select the outside. Let's toggle the grid for a second. So what this does, if you select inside stroke, it's going to be from the inside. So if you increase it, see, it's going to be from the inside, but if you select outside, it's going to be outside the circle, outside the component. That's good. Now we're going to color the stroke, select the color picker and just select this primary green color. There we go. I think we can use another image here, most possibly. Let's see, content reel, images, photos, maybe this one. Yeah, there we go. That looks much better in my opinion. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to design for the balance. Let's turn on our grid and let's see what we have in our textiles. I think we can use body regular for the moment. So it's Roboto, 16 pixels. Let's click T to select text. Select Roboto if you don't have it selected and set it at 16 pixels. So let's write up here total assets, align it to the left side of the grid. And what we want to do now is, let's see how much this is. Okay, so we're going to be using a Lado 28 pixels, title 1 for the balance. So just click T, select Lado 28 pixels and set the line height to auto. And we're just going to write up an amount here. There we go. Let's position it also on the left side of the grid. Perfect. And now we're going to give it spacing to the total assets text of maybe 12 pixels. I think that should be good. Let's disable the grid to see how it looks. Yeah, maybe give it 8. And maybe we should give it a bigger font size. I think maybe give it 34. I think it's more visible. Yeah, much better. And let's give it a font weight of semi-bold. And let's give this total assets text some gray color. Let's select the third one here. Let's see how it looks. That's a little bit dark, so let's go with the lighter variant here. E8, E8, E8. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Okay, let's turn on our grid. Select the two elements and group them by holding Control G. There we go. So what we want to do now is select the top logo and this element right here and just align them to make sure they're aligned, and hold Control G to group them and give them a 40 pixel spacing from the top status bar, and let's give them a spacing of maybe 64 pixels from the total assets. Text, I think that looks good. Let's disable our grid for a second. Let's see how it looks. Maybe 48. Yeah, let's leave it at 48. I think it's pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to be designing the options. So we're going to design 4 options here. We're going to be having send, receive, swap, and buy. And what we're going to do for that situation is create another grid. So go to layout grid, click grid, select columns, and let's make 4 columns. Let's give it a margin of 24 pixels, and let's give it a gutter of maybe 48. That's a little bit too much. Let's try 40. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Let's try 32. Yeah, 40 definitely looks good. There we go. You'll see why we're using this grid in a moment. Let's give the grid a slight light color. And what we forgot here for this component was the